Please welcome David Fong.
Thank you, Ray. My class is going to be a little different. This is similar to the other class, but this is a little more technical. Sherman in the last class talked about how some of the people you might encounter in short sales aren't necessarily the sharpest tools in the shed. And my goal in my two classes, my class is actually broken up into a part 1 and a part 2, is to make you all the sharpest tools in the shed and to make you really understand and try to demystify commercial real estate loans. I look at things in the purchase and sale process from two perspectives. One, from the seller perspective, having represented a lot of banks and financial institutions as a lawyer, but I also look at things from the buyer perspective, because that's what we do now. We invest on behalf of buyers. And so I think it's important if you're going to get involved in those sales, which I think is a very lucrative field to get into. I think you need to understand the motivations and the prospectuses of all the different parties in the game. Now the course is basically broken up into 3 parts, really. The first part that we talk about is we discuss what's happening in the commercial real estate finance market. And I think Ray already talked a good deal about it. The lack of credit, the fact that there are a lot of loan maturities that are occurring over the next few years. And this creates what I call the deleveraging opportunity. And that's where the big opportunities for deals are starting to happen. And actually, they're starting to happen a lot more. As Ray indicated, you know, in the CMBS market, which used to be dead for all of 2009, last year there's about this year, excuse me, there's about 3.1 billion of issuance for the whole year. There's already teed up, Wall Street has already teed up for the first quarter of 2011, at least $3 billion worth of product. So the market is coming back, and so financing is going to help drive more transactions. And as a buyer, we've definitely been seeing a lot more transactions. Give you an interesting statistic. One of my clients, JP Morgan Investment Management, on the investment side, and they represent probably about $60 to $70 billion of investment money. In 2009, the West Coast group did approximately $50 million of transactions. And that's interesting when you compare in 2007, when they were peaking, and they did $2 billion worth of transactions. This year alone, they've done already $1 billion. And so there's definitely, the market is coming back. There's a lot of money on the sidelines. People are starting to do more deals. The second part we talked about, again, is we're going to go over all the different financing structures. And we're also going to go over a lot of documents. Commercial real estate finance is full of documents, all different types of documents, loans, notes, guarantees, environmental indemnities, all sorts of things. And the documents all play a big role in the process too, because defective documents impact pricing. And that's important to understand. The final part of the class is we look at the actual purchase and sale process. We look at the loan purchase agreements, and we look at all the areas where you're going to typically find battles between sellers and buyers. And then finally, we look at enforcement remedies, because I always look at loans as, if you're buying a loan, you're buying the potential right to get to real estate. It's different from buying real estate. When you buy real estate, you're going to own real estate, and you deal with issues property related. When you buy an REO, which is basically real estate owned by a bank, you have similar issues. But when you buy a loan, if the loan is done correctly and the lender hasn't screwed things up, and there are various ways lenders can screw things up in California, especially because of when action rules and other technical complications in the procedure, you might not be getting that loan. While it may look really cheap, at the end of the day, if you can't get to the real estate, then it doesn't matter if you pay 10 cents on the dollar, when at the end of the day you're not going to even get 10 cents. So that's the other thing that we go through with the class.